The South Wales Industrial Cluster covers a large geographical region stretching from the English-Welsh border all the way across to the Pembrokeshire coastline. It is the second largest of the UK's industrial clusters by CO2 emissions, meaning that it's a key region for decarbonisation if the UK is to meet its net zero ambitions. The cluster is a collaboration across different industries and sectors within South Wales who have come together to deliver a deployment project to decarbonise South Wales industry. This project has been funded via the Industrial Decarbonisation Challenge and represents over £37 million worth of investment into decarbonising South Wales industry.
It's a wide spectrum of projects across all aspects of the decarbonisation problem in South Wales. It's enabled businesses to take decisions to trigger feasibility studies, some detailed engineering, to really understand the building blocks for how you approach that problem. And the South Wales Industrial Cluster, at the highest level, is designed to present industry with a series of choices around decarbonisation, whether that be electrification, fuel switching to hydrogen, or carbon capture and storage. There's significant distance across the South Wales industry, nearly 140 miles from west to east, with some significant gaps in between. The SWIC solution to that has been to create what you could call mini clusters. We've called them clean growth hubs within the strategy, and to approach the problem of CO2 disposal in a multi-port approach, and then to bridge the gap between the clean growth hubs with infrastructure for hydrogen distribution, enhanced grid availability, etc.
Fundamentally, industry needs hydrogen to decarbonise. That means moving it from where it's produced to where it's used. And to do that, one of the ways in doing so is through a hydrogen pipeline. Our role in the South Wales Industrial Cluster is connecting projects together using hydrogen pipeline infrastructure. That can be done in South Wales by connecting the 4.5 gigawatts of offshore wind that's currently allocated to the Celtic Sea to industrial consumers in the east of South Wales, so looking in Port Talbot, Barry, Cardiff and Newport, to provide them with a supply of hydrogen and give industrial customers the option of fuel switching to hydrogen should they wish to choose that to decarbonise.
Our work in the IDC deployment project for South Wales has been to assess the feasibility of onshore CO2 aggregation and export infrastructure, so helping sites capture their CO2 and transport it for onward shipping. We've been involved in SWIC since its inception, and our involvement in this round of funding has been largely due to our deep expertise in the full chain of CO2 capture, transport and shipping, and also with hydrogen production and distribution. Each site will have its own preferred method of decarbonisation, and our job is to construct a system where all of these different sites work together to decarbonise the whole region in the least cost way.
Green hydrogen has an incredibly important role to play in decarbonisation in South Wales and the rest of the world. So Lightsource BP got involved with SWIC because we're a renewable power developer and very interested in green power development and green hydrogen development as a vector for green power and as a green molecule.
O'n i yn project manager yn y cluster plan project, a achos hynny o'n i wedi dechrau yn y Future Leaders Group yn y deployment project. Mae fe wedi bod yn rili dda i gweithio gyda pobl yn cwmnïau eraill fel fy hun yn y Future Leaders Group, i gweithio ar problemau neu gyda yn ein swydd ein hunain, a siarad yn hunain amdano y dyfodol wedyn.
All of these projects and all these new ideas, the primary reason for them is for decarbonisation and a better future. So I think it's important that the people who will be working on these projects in 10 years' time and the people who these projects' lives are going to affect the most are involved. It's the interplay and the interaction between new industries and old industries, different kinds of power development, which is really key.
What SWIC's enabled us to do is come together, work towards mutual goals, and for us as Wales and West Utilities, develop that connecting infrastructure which can link projects together and accelerate decarbonisation in the region. If all these projects develop at the same time and they're allowed to develop at the same time by government having the appropriate support in place, they can be developed at a much faster rate. That means the benefits that come with those opportunities and those projects will come at a faster pace as well.
Fi'n gweld bod digarboneiddio yn gallu dod at pobl at ei gilydd i helpu, i cymunedau a swyddi a sgiliau i cadw cymunedau'r dyfodol yn fynd.
CCUS and low carbon hydrogen are vital for the UK to meet its net zero ambitions. The deployment of these networks and the ability for other clusters to then be able to use them will widen the decarbonisation possibilities across the UK.
Not only is South Wales hugely important in terms of the nationally significant industry that we have here, but the South Wales cluster will create a CO2 shipping solution that's viable, that can attract then the disposal from Europe, potentially a huge income for the UK over the next few decades.